Welcome back to the channel. If you see the apprehension in my eyes, it's real, I promise. God, relationships, and celibacy. This is personal stuff and this is vulnerable. I was given this message last week that I needed to share this because my story would bless someone. But this to me is such a personal thing. My choice to be celibate and my choice to take the time to learn what I am worth to myself so that when I'm in partnership, I can be with someone who sees that same worth in me that I see in me. All right. Take a deep breath with me, please. Deep breath in through your nose. And let it all go. Okay. So my divorce became final in 2022. And between May of 2022 and like June of 2023, the men who I attracted in reminded me of my ex-husband. And what I really wanted was alignment. I had this idea in my head that because I'd been in a relationship for 20 years and married for 17, that if that wasn't the one, that I was going to meet someone else probably within a year who actually was, because that was just going to happen. And I really did have this idea in my head. And that's just not how it worked out. So by the time a year went by and I realized what I was allowing into my life and how what I was allowing in made me feel, I decided to take a time out. And I was like, okay, God, you can show me who I am and what it is about me that's keeping this energy here so that it's being, mirrored back to me. And I'll do what you say. Part of what I went through in my process of, I should probably call this my journey of self-love, because I think that that's what this journey has done. There's just a certain level of discipline that you automatically kind of fall into after a certain period of time has gone by. And what I mean by that is, like, the idea of some random guy coming up to me right now, speaking to me in a way that I don't feel is respectful, jumping the gun on what he thinks an interaction with me should be. Like, just for example, I'm at a lounge, someone I know is playing, he's a DJ. I go to start dancing, someone wants to dance with me, and next thing I know, he's right here. I'm like, back up. My personal space, I don't know you. And I know that for some people that's weird. Like, yes, you're supposed to be close, but for me, like, I've learned what feels good in my nervous system. And before, I wasn't even worried about my nervous system. I was so concerned about other people and making sure that they felt okay, that they were comfortable, that they were good. And now it's like, no, it's me first. Like, how do I feel around you? You are in my personal space, so back up, please. And when I say the level of discipline, it's that it's not about outward appearances. It's not about perceived affluence. It's not about, I guess maybe I should say what it is about. And what it is about is shared values. And here's the thing about shared values. That's not something that you find out immediately. And that's the reason why celibacy for me at this point still works. Because if what I want is depth, then I'm not going to get that immediately from someone. I mean, and when I say that, I mean the level of depth that it takes in order for me to want to share my body again. Like, it's not going to come from meeting someone and them dancing in my personal space super fast. So Um, yeah. I've been calling this journey the Michelangelo process because if I've heard it said that when Michelangelo was asked how he made the statue of David, he said that he just chiseled away at everything that wasn't David. And I feel like that's what God has been doing to me in this process. In this process, not just of celibacy, but in this process of, my spiritual journey and my spiritual growth with Him. It's really showing me who I am by removing who I'm not. And what I'm finding is that who He's showing me I am is much more empowered than what I gave myself credit for in the past. And so here are some lessons that I've learned during this time that I hope will bless you. The first lesson is love you first. And I wrote, honestly and openly, what do you need and what do you want? Because it's hard to get to a place of others being able to love you and give you what you need and want if you don't know what that is for yourself. And this was something I had to learn because I'd spent so much of my time giving to others and catering to others that there was a time where if you asked me what I wanted, I would have been like the girl in Coming to America, like, whatever you wish, master, whatever you wish, my king, bark like a dog. Okay. I mean, like, that's who I would have been. Maybe not that drastic. But what I'm saying is that I really did put myself out there to really give others what I thought they needed, and I put myself last. And what I'm finding now is that the depths of my relationship are so much stronger with friends, even by me being able to do this, because this is about boundaries. And a boundary isn't, I used to look at boundaries as a way to keep people out, and I didn't like them. That's why I didn't like boundaries, because I thought it was me choosing to keep people out. Having boundaries allows me to love myself bigger, and it allows me to love the people in my life bigger, because I know I've established what's okay with me and what isn't. And that's based on me, not based on them. And that's the key. See, so often I think that even with me, when I didn't like boundaries before, it was because I made it about other people. And boundaries just give me enough leeway to be able to love even bigger and even more because I know what's okay with me. And so loving yourself first was the very first lesson that I learned in the celibacy journey. And that took time because I had to get honest with myself about what I wanted and needed. And it took time for me to be able to even say it and verbalize it. I thought that needs mattered more than wants. And I don't think that's necessarily true. What else? Allow people to be who they are. When I talk about my celibacy and how it affected relationships, it affected all of my relationships because I look through rose-colored glasses, and for me, that may mean something different than for someone else. So let me just explain what that means for me. So it means that I see clearly, okay? But I'm putting this tint on it to make it not so bad. And I did that with everyone. So it wasn't so bad. If I would see someone treat someone else some way, it wasn't so bad. Maybe they were just having a bad day. Maybe it was this, maybe it was that. So for me, the rose-colored glasses was because I was giving everyone else in my life so much leeway. But the truth is, what I've learned in this time of celibacy, which also includes me learning how to establish boundaries, is that it's okay to let people be who they are. 100%. Like, it's okay for you to be acquaintances with or friends with someone who, just say you've seen treat someone else not well. you're allowed to be aware of that and still be friends with that person, right? And I know I'm probably saying this in a way that you're like, what's the deal? And the deal is this: I used to let people stay in my life no matter what I saw and experienced, unless it was like so bad and catastrophic. And now I'm like, it's okay for you to be who you are. If you slander, if you gossip, if you lie, that's okay. I just know where my boundaries are with you, and I know the level of depth of relationship we're going to be able to have. We will be acquaintances, and I will be kind to you, and that's okay. You don't have to change. I'm not asking you to. And I'm not going to treat you as if I'm expecting you to change in the future by keeping these rose-colored glasses on and by keeping you in my life and then getting upset or frustrated that things didn't change. So all of that, which was all stuff that's happened with me, to say, let people be who they are. And part of going through this journey is, in taking off the rose-colored glasses, there's just full acceptance there. It's okay for you to be who you are. It's okay for me to be who I am. I love who I am. You may love who you are. Cool. Okay. Lesson number 3, which is in line with these relationships. Let misalignments fall away. It's okay to outgrow old relationships. Now, I'll give you an example here. There was a time before I was celibate where there was a situationship. And when I decided to become celibate, we were in contact at one point, and he said to me, well, he basically wanted to meet up, wanted to get together. And I said no. I said, you can't offer me what I'm looking for. You just, you can't offer me what I'm looking for. And his response was, well, you can have fun while you're looking. Okay. So, yeah, no. And it's okay to let misalignments fall away, because all you're doing is making room for what truly is aligned to come in. And that's what I've had to do. And it's hard. It's really hard, especially when you're someone who's just, you truly love people. You truly love on people. And you just want what you see, which is the best in everyone, to just to be the be all end all forever. But we live in the real world. And being honest with yourself about the relationships in your life matters. It really does, because the relationships in your life that you allow in your life reflect your relationship to yourself. How much do you love you? And do you have people in your life who don't love you the way that you feel like you love yourself? And can you reevaluate some of those relationships? Because you don't have to go down a celibate journey in order to do this stuff. This is just one way that God worked with me and is working with me through this time. The last lesson that I've learned that has been the biggest one is to get crystal clear on my values. And here's the thing, and I think that this is where I know I've gotten tripped up in the past, and so hopefully you'll learn this from me. The values that I had before are not the same values that I have now. And once I became crystal clear on the values that I have now, I can tell you this, that whether it's friendships or whether it's relationships, I am not attracted to what I was attracted to in the past. What I am attracted to and what I'm looking for is so much more than that. It is true depth, and it is like body recognition of, you are someone I can have a conversation with. I just know. And even though I am still celibate, and so I say this too because in the past, I'd say that one of the men hearing this, if they were to hear it, would see this as a challenge. And then I'd get annoyed and frustrated, pissed off, whatever else because of it. But there's no challenge here. Like, the truth is, my body is my own. I'm autonomous. I'm sovereign. And I am not taking something as beautiful and as precious and as powerful as my body, this creative power that God has given me, and just giving it to, yeah, it's just, yeah. So, all of that to say, I know for me, the next stage of this relationship, and it'll probably end up being a follow-up video whenever it happens and I feel like it's time to share it, or I'm told to share it. I know the next stage of this for me is actually being in relationship. It's actually working, it's co-regulating with someone, because I've done enough of the work on my own. I've done as much as I can on my own. Now the rest of it is only in relationship. That's scary, guys. That's scary. It's beautiful. It is going to be the best partnership, and I know it. I feel it in my body. I'm actually going to be with a man who knows how to lead and who knows how to harness his power. Like, knows how to work with his own energy. And I see so many people not do this right. Either they're just so passive, or they're so aggressive that you're just like, ugh. But that's not what's in store for me. What I have coming in store for me is going to scare me and probably make me want to run, but I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay because I'll know it's right. So anyhow, I hope that there were some nuggets in here. I hope there were some lessons. I hope there was something that you can take back, that you can benefit from and learn from. And just know that God sees you as such a beautiful, individual, perfect being. He created you. So there's no one who knows the beauty of you more than God does. And I'm not saying that you need to go down a celibacy journey, because that may not be your path. But what I will say is that if you give God the opportunity to do the Michelangelo process with you, I think you'll be really surprised and happy with what you find on the other side. So if you want to just take a moment with me. Dear God, thank you for this time that we've had to share together. For the person watching this, please continue to watch over them and bless them. Continue to order their steps. Continue to prune and refine them. Continue to remind them of who they are by reminding them of who you are. May you strengthen their resolve. And may you bless them with beautiful relationships. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.